This video is brought to you by Sporlan. Quality, integrity, and tradition. Before I start this video, I wanted to bring up the fact that I started a new YouTube channel. It's called HVACR Tools. I've kind of been promoting it for a while and really hadn't had an opportunity to upload any videos. So I uploaded my first video to it. It's a work pant review video. So basically I did a poll, ordered 5 or 6 different, I think it's 6 different pairs of work pants, and tried them out over the course of a few months, and then came up with what worked best for me and why. So do me a favor, popping up in the card right now, should be right here, I think, is a link to the tool channels video. Do me a favor and go give me a subscription and check out the video. Let me know what you think. There'll be more to come. I plan on doing all kinds of different stuff on there. Eventually I want to do work boots, work gloves. I'm going to do the Sporlan Smart Pro R tools. I've got thermal imaging cameras coming. So we're going to do a couple different types of reviews. I want to make it clear that this is going to be my channel, just like my normal videos channel. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. I'm not owned by anybody. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and we're going to get on with the video now. All right, we had an overtime service call over the weekend where they said a god-awful noise was coming from their exhaust fans. I had a tech come out here, and if you look at this, what actually happened, you can see that we damaged the wheel. The wheel's just completely gone, and the whole thing shifts back and forth, but we lost a bearing on the other side, and we'll pull it apart and we'll show you. What we're actually going to do is pull this blower assembly out, and we're going to take it over to our motor rebuilder and have them possibly, we'll see once I get it out, we'll see how hard it's going to be. What we're going to have to do is lift this unit up, straight up, and then we'll lift it on top of here, right here. So if we come over here, you can see we lost the bearing. The pieces are right there, but it damaged the wheel. So the wheel is going to need to be replaced, and the easiest way to do this entire job is just cut the shaft, put new bearings, new wheels, and my motor rebuilder can probably do this. Well, I can do it too. It's just a matter of who's got more time and who can do it faster, but we'll see. We're going to focus on getting it out first, and then we'll figure out if they have the parts. If they have to order them, then I might as well do it myself. We pulled the blower assembly, just a couple bolts. It's not too dirty down in there. One of the things you got to be careful about is if you've had one of these make-up units off for a long time, especially like after we're done doing everything, we're gonna clean up the inside and stuff, is you can't, we're not gonna fix it today anyways, but you can't start it up when they're in the middle of their shift or lunch or whatever, because we're gonna stir up a bunch of dust and it would blow it all down in there. So make-up air units, especially in dusty places, can only be started up first thing in the morning when nobody's in the kitchen, because there's usually gonna be dust blowing around. But okay, we're gonna go ahead and pull this blower assembly down and then evaluate. I'm gonna make some measurements and then make some phone calls. And if they can rebuild it and they have the parts in stock, then I'll take it to the motor rebuilder. But if not, we'll rebuild it on site if we gotta order the parts. So here's my bearing. See, this side of the wheel is not damaged. It's the other side, probably because the belt was dragging the wheel that way and it just totally shredded the side of the wheel. Let's look at that side real quick. See that it just completely shredded the wheel right here, so this thing's gonna be out of balance now, so we can't reuse the wheel. Interesting that I saw right here too is that there's a part number right here, so that's kind of cool. That makes it a little bit easier, and that's a LOW part number, so pretty good odds that they're not going to have to order this from the manufacturer if there's an actual LOW part number. And that's the manufacturer of the blower wheels. They're like one of the biggest manufacturers of blower wheels. I measured the wheel and it's 18 inches by 18 inches, so it's a straightforward repair. Really isn't going to be hard, but I would need a new shaft. But I went ahead and turned on the motor, and the bearings in it are making a interesting sound. I'll leave it up to the customer whether or not they want to change the motor. It's okay, it's working, it's just I can hear just a funky metallic sound in the bearings. But okay, so we're gonna clean this unit up. Oh, the other thing too is I'm gonna, as part of our quote, we're gonna put a new water pump in here and a new water float back in there. They fail so much that I'm just gonna change it. We're gonna pull out all the metal mesh filters, clean those up,
and then we'll just give the customer a, you know, a quote to do everything. This motor pulley is a really weird size. It's an 1 1/16". So that's tripping me out because that's an oddball size. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the pulley off. So what I did was sprayed some penetrating oil on there, sanded up the inside of the shaft really good, and then we're gonna loosen everything up and see if I can get it to slide off. If not, I have my puller and we'll pull that off, and then I'll get a better measurement once we get it off. All right, yeah, that's why I took it off. For some reason I couldn't get a good measurement, and I knew 1 1/16 wasn't good, but it's actually 1 1/8". So it was just something about being in there where it was trying to measure it was very difficult, but yep, 1 1/8 is what it is. So that's easy. And you can see that that guy's just worn down, and I'll actually get the pulley tool on there and show you guys too. All right, so when you're using this pulley tool, it's about it riding in this bottom corner right here, flush, and you see how there's a gap right here, there's a gap, and there shouldn't be. It should be a V-shaped, a perfect V-shaped. So this just shows you how much that pulley is worn down. It's not sitting on that groove. So the pulley V-shape should match that right there. So this is a great tool. If you can, I mean, I could visually look at this guy and say, yeah, it's a bad pulley, but you know, for those of you that can't when you're doing PMs and stuff like that, this tool is great for that. We're about to figure out how we're gonna get this down. I brought my equipment lift, but it's pretty light, so we might just rope it. It just depends. We just gotta be safe. But very important, we don't leave the panels off. We put screws in everything. Even though we're coming back, we put it together just like we never touched it. I can't handle when people leave panels off. It just looks like crap. Just imagine if a customer walks on the roof and they think, what the heck are these guys doing? Just leaving crap off. Even though they don't understand we're coming back, but still. This isn't happening today anyways, and we're also expecting rain, so you got to think about that kind of stuff. But you never know. I mean, let's just say I was going to come back tomorrow. You know, who knows though? Maybe something happens and I can't come back, and it rains and I have all the panels off. So just put everything back like you weren't here. Screw it all back on. Got a rebuilt blower assembly, and then got a new motor too. The customer wanted to go ahead and do the motor. I gave him the option. Told him the motor was still working, but it was going bad, bearings, and they said just do everything. So this is my lift. It'll go up 24 feet. It's got outriggers, side arms. All right, so we're just kind of mocking everything up. We got the new blower assembly and motor in, and I'm just trying to get an idea. So I've got a straight edge here to kind of line it up, and it tells me that, you see how it's not connecting, but it connects with the back of the pulley, and then on that side it connects with the front of the pulley. So that tells me that the motor pulley needs to go in, and we also probably need to shift something a little bit. So the straight edge definitely helps you to get it lined up when they're bigger. All right, so put that side on. This gives us a ballpark idea, and we got that side on over there. So that tells us that we're pretty straight. Then we're gonna kind of check the tension. It's too loose right now, so we got to adjust the tension a little bit, and we still got to check airflow and all that fancy stuff, but we're getting there. We got the alignment figured out, the tension figured out. We're putting a new water pump on this guy, and then we got to be really careful because this is a makeup air unit, and we have to bump start it because the ducts could be full of dust. It's only been about a week since it's been down, but still, they are operating. Ideally, we want to do this when nobody's in the building, they're not cooking yet, but in this situation, we have to. So we'll send someone down there and we'll just bump start it a little bit at a time. And we still got to check current draw too to make sure we're not over amping. All right, we are on and running. We're gonna just I'm gonna let it run for about 15 minutes and then double check the tightness of everything. We're going in the right direction. One thing that happened, like just this stuff blows your mind sometimes. Look at this. All I did was drop a crescent wrench and it hit the side of this. It must have been going bad, and it like totally blew a hole in it. But there's a ball valve right here, so we got to fix that real quick. But we also changed the water pump because this is an evaporative or swamp cooler. So those things, seasonally we change those water pumps. But the pads look okay. They were just changed recently. Relatively clean. Metal mesh filters on this side are relatively clean. So everything looks good in here. Tried to clean it up a little bit. It's not going to be perfect. And we did do the whole bump start thing that I talked about. So I'm going to double check tightness of everything. Double check all the set screws and everything because it's been running for a bit now. All right, it's like polishing a turd. I didn't have I had very minimal copper, so I wanted to redo it all, but I couldn't. So we just did that little section right there. I don't like where it's at because people step on it and ruin it. Kind of sucks, but oh well, it's all we got.
To recap, we had a overtime service call on a loud noise coming from the exhaust fans. And when I went through everything, or actually my service tech that went out there over the weekend found that the bearing had gone bad. And then I went out to go ahead and pull the blower assembly so that way we could get the customer a quote. So we had to go out there, pull the blower assembly, evaluate the total system damage, and then we gave the customer a quote. I went ahead and pulled it off the roof because I knew they were going to do it, and then gave them a quote. They approved it, and we came back out. So I gave the customer all the options. I told them, here, in my honest opinion, this motor's going bad, but it's working fine right now. What do you want to do? They chose to go ahead and add the motor to the replacement. We also went ahead and preemptively replaced the water pump. Okay, these water pumps fail seasonally, meaning they don't last through a summer basically because they run so much. So we end up changing those. So I changed the water pump preemptively. Also showed you guys, a couple little tips about starting up a makeup air unit, especially after it's been down for a very long time. This one hadn't been down for too long, about a week and a half. But it's very important when you start those makeup air units up that you don't blow all the dust down into the kitchen. People complain, it ruins food. So, we're always concerned about the customer's best interest. Showing them that we genuinely care, in my opinion, helps them to trust us more. So, went ahead and so we replaced the water pump, the motor, the blower assembly was rebuilt by my motor rebuilder. Now, about that, I could have done the work, but in all honesty, it's more cost effective for the motor rebuilder to do the work because they can do it faster and less expensive than me. And then I just basically install the part. So we certainly could have done it, but we were looking out for the customer's best interests, and that's the easiest way to go about it. So had the motor rebuilder rebuild it. I was a little disappointed because normally at this particular motor rebuilder, they usually paint the blower assemblies, and in this one they didn't, and there was a little bit of rust damage on there, but there wasn't too much more. I wasn't going to sweat it too much. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Do me a favor, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, give me some feedback. I guess that's it. We will catch you guys on the next one, okay?